right. Hello. Welcome to Work Our Way.
I'm Pat.
And I'm Allie.
We got about 2 weeks of a show.
I know. It feels like...
Thank you for waiting. Nobody has complained that the episode is late, so I appreciate all 8 of our listeners being very patient.
Right. And I do feel like we've lived like 3 lifetimes in the span of those 2 weeks. So we're just going to get right into it. First, let's maybe talk about where we are.
Oh, I don't know what the name of this place is.
It's Huerve el Agua.
I thought it was Hoja de Agua.
No, there's a bunch of signs that say Huerve, and I actually don't know what Huerve means. I thought it was like hielo, which is ice, because there's a petrified waterfall. You can actually see it if you like zoom in super far in this frame.
It's way over there.
It's right behind us, and there's like sulfur baths and beautiful mountains.
Is it sulfur? It doesn't smell like sulfur at all.
Like salt, though.
Okay,
whatever
so
the
you
mineral...
don't know that it's sulfur?
I don't know that it's sulfur.
Okay, it's not sulfur. It's not.
What's the one? It's like the mineral baths.
Yeah, it's definitely calcified salt or calcified something, and because it's calcified leads me to believe so. But I don't know either.
What's sulfur? Sulfur kills
stinks.
you, right?
No, sulfur because it smells like rotten eggs.
Oh.
I bet it's poisonous though.
Okay.
Sulfuric acid.
All right, that's fair.
Scientists, write in. Let us know.
Yeah, we still don't have the best signal, so it's tough to Google in real time.
Yeah.
So we're just going to throw out facts as we think they're true.
Yeah. Or as we think that they're not. It's not sulfur. But yeah, no, it's nice. It's, we left the beach. It literally was too hot. It was just too hot to do podcasts. It was too hot to be outside.
Yeah, too hot to sleep. We lost a lot of sleep. It was a gorgeous place to be, but too hot.
Too hot.
Like 100 degrees.
Yep. We got to the first campsite, and the guy Franz, he's a Dutch guy, Dutch by way of Africa, used to own a sweatshop in India.
Yeah.
So the evil
yikes.
Dutch, the evil Dutch. That's who we camped with first, and then a buddy of ours came through, pissed off the Dutchman. And he freaked out. He pissed him off by not choosing the Dutch guy's sport fishing trip. The guy wasn't there, so we coordinated a sport fishing trip with a separate local Mexican fella named Alejandro Roberto.
So I thought that it was actually the same guy, Alejandro, but he quoted us for 50% the price that Franz was going to quote us at, because he offers trips at like 2,000 pesos, which is like $100.
Nice.
And the guy gave it to us for $50 to go around Franz. And Franz found out, was like, "You're taking my business. You're undercutting me. If you continue with this trip, you are leaving in the morning."
You're leaving first thing in the morning, he said to our buddies. And I mean, he didn't take that too kindly. He was just like, "What the hell, man? I didn't do it. I got set up here for this thing. You weren't around. What the fuck is your problem? Don't talk to me like this," kind of thing. I'm your guest. Mm-hmm. And Franz was like, "What's going to be like that? You can leave right now." And so he had to leave right then and there. In solidarity, we went on this fishing trip too. I don't know why we didn't catch any of the blast from Franz.
He liked us.
He did.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either. But we just left them the following morning, first thing. Here's the thing about Franz. First night we were there, he told us about all the words he wished he could still say.
Yeah, use your imagination.
Don't write them in the comments. Do not write the words you think that they are in the comments.
Yeah, he was trying to justify it. He's like, "Well, we have this pastry, and we've always been able to call it this.
Chocolate pastry that we could call what, And we're like, "Franz, shut the fuck up, dude."
He kept
Stop saying that. For real.
He also kept referring to himself as a slave master.
Yeah, but one of the good ones.
Yeah.
When he was describing his time as a sweatshop owner.
Which doesn't make, that's impossible. There's no such thing as a good slave owner.
Yeah. Yeah, so real tough bag to deal with Franz. I was going to say mixed bag, but it was a pretty negative bag. But he was still oddly nice to us, just despite us doing literally all the things that he said makes him mad. Oh, and then we went to another campsite right up the road. Some genuinely nice Canadian people.
Mm-hmm. Who we actually met at a camp in Oaxaca that we stayed at. They came through for Day of the Dead around the same time that we were there. So we, like, in passing, met them. They said, hey, we have this amazing campground. It's on the beach, Bahia San Agustin. You should come. And we're like, oh, okay, we'll maybe head that way. So we remembered, as Chris was actively getting kicked out of the first camp, that there was another camp just 5 minutes down the road. So we ended up going there right after.
Yeah. Luckily, Pepper burned that bridge pretty thoroughly for us.
Yeah.
Pepper uncharacteristically murdered 4 chickens of theirs.
But
So,
not all at once,
no,
which was the worst
two
part.
separate trips, one on one trip, 3 on the other. So it got exponentially worse.
Yeah, I don't know if I can describe the feeling of waking up at 7 a.m, having a cup of coffee, maybe talking about doing a pod, talking about doing anything fun.
Yeah.
And then you just hear, Pepper, no!
Pepper, stop!
No, Pepper! Wailing.
Oh my God! I sprinted through their thorny little forest that they had to find Pepper, feathers in face, chicken on the ground. I mean, my heart sunk. And then we brought him back, kept a close eye on him, and then Al gave me a cup of coffee, and I just settled down to take my first sip. Lost track of Pepper. Heard the same scream. At this point, I didn't have to wonder what it was. I was like, oh boy, I bet Pepper's back in that chicken coop.
And he was.
Lo and behold.
Yeah.
3 dead chickens on the ground. One pretty pissed off camp owner.
Yeah.
He stayed pretty mad. And honestly, I don't blame him. I'd have been fucking furious
It
too.
was like half of their total chickens. I would be mad too.
Yeah.
They were about to lay eggs. They were so excited.
Yeah, they just started laying eggs. We got the full. Yeah, but they got. Here's the thing: 4 dead chickens are bad. They did get the chickens for free. The coop was not secured, so even Pepper, who's no velociraptor, he doesn't know how to open doors.
Mm-hmm.
Was able to just get in, and then he ate, or he munched on those chickens, and then you can't let the chickens go to waste. So I spent all afternoon or all morning in the hot fucking sun plucking and gutting chicken.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, I
defeathering
learned.
and gutting these chickens.
And then I helped marinate the chickens, which is still uncomfortable. I don't like touching raw meat. And you have to get under the skin. You have to get in the booty hole, throw everything in there.
Yeah.
It's unpleasant, to say the least.
Yeah, it was unpleasant for everybody. It was a tough feeling for us. I'm sure it didn't feel great if you owned the chickens. But it was a pretty big bummer for them.
Yeah, we had to get out of there.
So we left the next day.
Ugh.
Big time apologies. Tried to pay him off for the chickens, but I mean, they were honestly. The woman was far nicer than the dude about it.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
They were both very understanding, handled it with absolute grace. But yeah, we were pretty embarrassed, pretty mortified.
Well, I just,
man.
to just go through something like that, like the first chicken was traumatizing enough. We were just like shooketh with what had just happened. So for the exact same thing to happen a second time, but have 3 times as many dead chickens, is a feeling I'll never forget.
It was carnage. It was absolute carnage.
Oh, and I'm just gonna remember that wail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Pepper
what are you
was
gonna
a bad
do?
boy.
But yeah, we haven't done one. We haven't done one of these pods since Day of the Dead.
No, we haven't done one
Speaking
since
of which,
Teotihuacan.
Rest in peace, Matthew Perry.
Oh yeah.
Who cares?
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time.
I honestly forgot that it had happened.
Friends, that I guess that was pretty formative. Honestly, whole 9 yards, under-celebrated movie. I will say that was really good.
Yeah.
Almost Heroes. I was disappointed in that one, but I was only like 10 when I saw it, so maybe 12. I'll give that another go.
Okay.
Chris Farley, Matthew Perry.
I probably won't watch it at all.
Both of them are dead. I'd watch it to see who else is dead from that movie, see if it's a curse.
Everyone from that movie just dies.
Yeah.
Well, that happens.
Later.
That always
sooner
happens.
Or later.
Yeah, eventually every movie is that.
Yep. Soon Facebook is going to be that.
Just a graveyard.
Just a graveyard of dead people, boomers and bots.
It's already boomers and bots.
It's already boomers and bots.
It'll
But
be
soon
dead
just
boomers and inactive bots.
Yeah. Oh, here comes somebody.
Oh, yeah. I don't know for sure if we're actually supposed to be here.
Yeah.
This guy.
That's all right. I think he's just a looky-loo.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, we haven't done one of these since Teotihuacan.
Hey, Pep, stay. Yeah.
Which was literally 2 weeks ago, Mexico City. That was where the pyramids were, hot air balloons, if you don't remember.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And yeah, we haven't even talked about Oaxaca.
Oaxaca was cool. Oaxaca was really cool.
Yeah, it was chill. We were in a campground called El Ranchero, and it was full of Germans.
Oh, yeah.
That's where all
Germans
the
by way
go.
of Argentina.
Oh, so bad Germans.
The evil Germans. Yeah.
Oh, man. Evil Dutch, evil Germans.
Evil Dutch, evil Germans.
We're the good guys.
I don't know. That's probably not us.
Probably not in
Vis-a-vis
Mexico.
The dead chickens, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was beautiful. It was like this, secure space. Really, like a lot of green for Pepper to run around. There were other dogs.
Yeah,
People
other
were
dogs,
generally
other
pretty
kids.
Nice. Yeah, people stay there for like months at a time. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a whole lifestyle.
It is.
There were families there that were working remotely that, use that as a base of operations and then just like leave, travel, go to Guatemala, down to Belize. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is very cost effective because you're spending like $15 for like a campground like that every day. And you usually make your own food, you do potlucks, like you travel, but you don't break the bank. So people, they're still working remotely on like the British Columbia, US, and European dollar.
Yeah.
They're probably making so much
The
money.
old European dollar.
Well, all of the currencies.
Yeah, all of the currencies. So they're making good money and not spending anything.
Yeah.
But it's fun to hear like why people have moved. Oh, we got a bunch of people coming.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's fun to listen to like why people moved. Their kids were telling us it all was like COVID related.
Mm-hmm.
That they couldn't go to school anymore, and you could tell what their parents felt just based off of what their kids were saying. You knew exactly what their political opinions were.
Yeah,
they're coming right for us, like
they
we're not doing anything.
Yeah, well, we've got a live show now.
Feel free to walk around, guys. Go away.
But it was just one of those things where a lot of people in a small space. So. A lot of fun drama also, which I really appreciated.
What was the drama?
Remember there was like some guy, there was a group chat. There was like a WhatsApp group chat that you could have joined. And if you joined it, then like you got to just ask questions. Where's the laundry? What are people doing today? Like, what's the latest on this? And some guy posted, he like emptied the fridge. Like everyone's stuff was just laid out on a table. And he's like, hey guys, I clean this fridge all the time. Like every 2 days I clean it, and every 2 days it's dirty. You guys need to get your shit together and help or whatever. It was just like a really passive aggressive, like college roommate-esque kind of message.
Yeah.
And some guy just fired back and was like, you know what, dude? We're all sick of your shit. Sick of you complaining. You complain about kids. You complain about dogs. You complain about the fridge. Like, you better fucking watch yourself, man. You're gonna piss off everybody.
You know where I'm at. Dodge Ram, end at the camp.
Yeah, exactly. And then the guy responded like all like, oh, I'm just trying to be a good guy and look up after the camp, and like took a selfie of everyone at the kitchen. He's like, just another passive aggressive response. And then the very next thing was that he just got removed by that guy.
You've been eliminated from the camp chat.
Yeah, so you got like a nice little front seat of all of that, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, but great spot. It was just outside of a place called Tule. Did anything cool happen in Tule?
Not really. It's it's a small town. They had like a roving marching band during Day of the Dead that would just go around and they had fireworks. Yeah, honestly, that never gets old.
It does. No, I don't know where you're from. It gets old the first round.
When it's live, it kind of doesn't get old.
I disagree.
I really enjoyed it.
I think we come from two vastly different schools of thought there.
But I mean, that's all that Thule had to offer. They have like a nice little food market and like a church, and they have this big tree that everyone gets super jazzed
Big tree
about.
was cool.
Yeah, it's just a big tree. Who knows how it got there? Probably grew.
Yeah, it grew out there. It grew big, and that's interesting.
Yeah.
And people go, whoa, that's a tree, and it's big, and it's crazy that it grew like that.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's it.
But Oaxaca was very, very cool. We went for the first night we went to Hohocatlan, spelled with X's. You put them where you want.
The X is the J sound, which is also the Y sound and the H sound.
Four letters that make the same. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Get it together, guys. Anyway.
Oh, we got a stray. Just some live pod right now. Pepper and the stray. You can see it. You know what's happening.
Oh, can they say
They're
it?
saying hi. Yeah, totally.
Back. There you go, bud. It's all right. It's okay. We should have just kind of tied you up so we didn't have to deal with all this, but
yeah, all good. Yeah, Pepper's been having an interesting run-in with things attacking him. I think we talked about this last time. We're up to mole, raccoon, dog,
yeah,
cat. He got swiped by the cat at El Ranchero.
You got to assume that the chickens kind of fought back.
I think they did. They had to have. Wouldn't
Yeah.
you?
I mean, I would have tried, but it didn't look like it worked. So maybe a chicken, but really I think he was the aggressor on that one. And he took out all of those attacks on those chickens.
He sure did. That was tough. You could taste the fear in the meat later that day.
Yeah, we did eat those chickens later that night.
We did. Honestly, I mean, I couldn't.
Oh my God, Chris just kept asking, she's like, "What kind of chicken do you want? Like, what kind of sauce on the chicken? What this? You want that? You want this?" I was like, "Brother, my entire day has been revolving around it. If I don't have to think about these chickens, I don't want to think about these chickens anymore. Dinner's on. You got the sauces. I don't give a fuck."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was tasty. He did a great job, but we were over. I had like one slice, and I was like, I think I'm good.
Yeah,
probably never eating chicken again, honestly.
No, I'll definitely eat some chicken again. I'll probably never eat chicken that Pepper kills. As long as we're doing everything right, we shouldn't be responsible for an inappropriate chicken death again.
Yeah. Yep. Huge bummer.
Yeah. So, Hohocatlan was a big graveyard. That was all. Did we already say that?
No, we didn't.
Okay, we just talked about how it's spelled.
We just talked about how it's
spelled. That's what people give a
spelled.
fuck about.
Yeah, I mean, you can call it Ho-Ho for short. The
Catlan,
taxi driver was like, "Oh, como Santa Claus," and I was like, "Aha, cool." So Ho-Ho.
Hohocatlan. Anyway, big graveyard. All the flowers, all that shit. Huge food trucks and kind of market and food and drinks outside. Stage right at the graveyard with performances.
Mm-hmm.
People would chill by the grave of their loved ones, throw flowers on it. It was kind of sad seeing graves that had no decorations.
It really was, and eventually that's going to be everybody's future, right? Like eventually so much time will have passed that you won't have any living relatives to remember who you were.
Yeah, I think that's the benefit of the tourism aspect of this. Because you'd see a bunch of honks walk in with the flowers and shit, and they're not going to put it around a gravesite that a bunch of people are at. Mm-hmm. They were putting it around kind of the forgotten ones, which I thought was, I was like, oh, okay, that is kind of cool.
Yeah,
at least it's not that it really matters or whatever, but that there's not so many just completely forgotten grave sites. There weren't that many, but you would run across them every once in a while.
Yeah.
And,
it
then
was
just
nice.
see a honk put in one of those. What are they? Carnations?
Yeah, the flower,
Incarnations?
the orange flowers. I forget what they're called. They're out in the mountains here, but anyway, yeah, it was, that part was really nice, and yeah, it was just a really interesting experience. It was kind of jarring though, because this is still kind of a sad thing, right? Like you are still visiting your loved ones who are no longer on this earth, and as you're doing that, the is playing in the background on a stage, like kind of close enough, obviously, where you can hear it. So it's these very contrasting vibes.
Yeah,
And
but I
you have to like
think
choose
that's
which one you want
it's
to live in.
contrasting for morose whites like us.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a cultural thing to like, yeah, they're dead, but like, yo, we're gonna keep them company. We're gonna play the music. Like, we got their favorite bread and their favorite fucking drinks. Yeah,
They still party.
It's still a party that revolves around the memory of a person. That is straight up a party. It's not layered with all the fucking sour emo bullshit.
Yeah, it's like a yearly funeral, but if your funeral was just the after party, you know, where everyone just hangs around the bar and talks about all the things they loved about that person and how funny they were or cool they were or like a good memory that sticks out. It's like if you just replicated that over and over every year at the actual gravesite.
Yeah.
Like that'd be cool. And I mean, I saw a lot of kids there, and they just must have like such a mature understanding and appreciation of death. That I just haven't really seen so much in U.S. culture.
Yeah.
I think children are often shielded. They're, you know, like you talk about, like you hear people discuss like, oh, when I had to tell my kid that so-and-so died, and they make it a whole thing. And I don't know if that's necessarily how it goes in Mexico. It seems like they just have a very mature and uplifting view of death.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess
we're making assumptions here,
yeah,
but just
we are. I mean,
yeah.
we saw it for one day. I don't know how someone dies in the middle of the year if it's not met with a ton of sadness and all that. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, but that was Ho Ho. Really cool experience. Definitely like a little bit more the authentic part of Day of the Dead.
And then we went to the big party the next day in the Zocalo, like the main government square, where Al wanted to get her face painted.
So
she almost
bad.
convinced me to do it. And here's the deal. I would have done it if it was... Because everybody gets like the white and then the skeleton or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I would have gone with Uncle Fester. I would have done that. I would have done a mime.
You should have done the mime.
The mime was honestly, I was enjoying.
It would have been so easy.
I was enjoying the fantasy of being a mime for an evening. And then the last one was Sting, WCW Hall of Fame wrestler Sting. He looks like Brandon Crow from, Brandon Lee from The Crow. Brandon Crow from The Lee.
I don't know who either of those people are.
So, but I didn't, because the lines were long, and as soon as we got there, I mean, honestly, -1 if you're a dude getting your face painted over there. It's seriously not worth it. I was just like, this is so gay. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Like, I can appreciate like the families who just get totally into it for the kids too.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay. You don't want to be like the one person in a family who doesn't have their face painted.
No, I would.
It's
I
all or
absolutely
nothing.
would.
Yeah.
I don't want my kids looking at me like that.
But I think it's cool regardless. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't
It's fun. I got my face painted. I have no shame. I didn't judge the dudes who did.
I did. I did, because I mean they were going for the most like ornate, like they were really pumped.
That's true. Okay, I'm
I'm
gonna change my answer. There are the guys who just, like me, I just showed up and I was like, hey, whatever you want to do, just do it. Like, I didn't care. I think that's the way you got to go. But there were guys that showed up with like Google image, like 5 different Google images of what they wanted. And it was like really advanced stuff. It was like movie set type makeup.
Yeah.
And they were like getting super into it. There was a guy in front of us, the first line we were in, who was like taking selfies of himself, getting it done. That's where I judge.
Well, and it's
you
weird
can't be that into it.
Because what's the celebration? It's like, isn't it for your dead relatives? And you're just going to be like, but look at the scary, spooky skeleton I became.
Yeah. Well,
like,
these are all tourists. They don't like, they're...
No, those were Mexican.
You think so?
A lot of them were, yeah.
Man, I just assumed they were all tourists, because I feel like only tourists would care about that kind of stuff. I'm a tourist. I don't have any dead relatives here. So getting my face painted, high on the priority list.
Mine was low. It was still fun, though. It was. I mean, it was great. It was. They had a huge parade. Again, another huge stage. Markets, bullshit everywhere. Fun. You guys have been to festivals outside, I'm sure, that are packed. It's like that, but with Mexican people in face paint.
Yeah, it's massive. Lots of mezcal.
Yeah, fireworks.
Yeah.
Fireworks on like.
Oh, those
like on the wheels.
spinny things? Yeah. I think those are so cool.
Yeah, they were cool.
I don't know why. I always think when I see one that it's just going to detach and then become a separate firework and cause like a lot of chaos. Don't you?
I like other cultures' fireworks.
Yeah.
Chinese do good fireworks. Mexicans do good fireworks. I mean, America tries to be the gold standard of fireworks. They just throw them in the air to explode.
Yeah. They're not at actual risk of
like
killing
wheels
you.
And yeah. Well, yes, they are. Yes.
So?
Oh my gosh.
Well,
You don't
I
remember
guess
Air Force safety videos?
That's true.
Leading into July 4th?
That's true.
Just watch week after week people blowing their hands off.
I'm thinking of like the street fireworks where people just launch them on a busy street. You almost got hit by one. You told me a story of like you were in Spain.
Oh
or something.
no, it was in Milan.
Yeah.
It was in Milan on New Year's Eve, and someone put one of those just tube like mortar round fireworks right on the curb, and I'm like on the phone talking to somebody, and I'm like looking at these fireworks just shooting out of the tube, and every time it shoots, the tube wobbles. I'm like, oh, that thing's gonna fucking fall, and then it shoots, and it falls, and it points right at me. And I go, huh? And then it shoots again. And I have to dive behind a car, and it smashes into the building and explodes behind me. It was.
That's terrifying.
I know. Yeah. If I weren't
Did you
so
see
drunk,
the guy
I would
who
have
did it?
PTSD from it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I mean is that I feel like in the U.S. you can't do that. So
you can.
You can still blow your hand off if you do it incorrectly of it going into the air, but for the most part, they're all way up in the air.
This thing was shooting them in the air.
But from the, like in a busy street, though.
Do you think that they start in the air?
No, I don't think they start in the air.
Okay.
But I think like there's a difference between where you point it on a busy street versus in a field in Nebraska. I don't know.
Sure, but in a backyard in Alabama is still a bad idea. You know, like there's it's not like these are regulated fireworks.
Yeah.
You know what I like in America?
Pepper.
How you
Come.
how there's like states that don't allow fireworks.
I'm gonna grab our dumb dog.
I'll just talk to the camera here. Hey, dear listener, this is what I love about America. You have states that don't allow fireworks, and then around those states, you have just like nuclear weapons on Poland, just on the border, just fireworks stations aiming into this, like the biggest fucking fireworks store in Wyoming is just like right on the border of Colorado, where they don't allow it. I think that's pretty funny. It's just like holding an entire state captive. Sure, they don't allow fireworks there, but you could just go right across the border, get whatever you need, bring them back, blow your hands off, blow your neighbors' hands off.
Blow their hands off?
Yeah, I was filling time.
Still on fireworks?
Yeah, I didn't jump topics. I figured I'd circle around the same thing that we were talking to so you wouldn't be lost when you come back.
Nice. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right. Let's move on from fireworks.
Okay. To what? What do we do after Day of the Dead? We traveled. Do we have any car trouble? We've run into a couple of things.
Not at this point. No, I don't think so. So we went through the mountains to Puerto Escondido.
Oh, that's
which
where
was,
we met with Franz.
Well, that's not where we were.
Oh, fuck
Puerto
yeah.
Escondido.
I forgot we stopped there first.
That was like the original, in my mind, I was like, Oaxaca State is where we should land. But if we're thinking beach town, Puerto Escondido is supposedly like still kind of like off the beaten path, like not overrun by tourists. It's not like the Tulum or the Puerto Vallarta of Mexico. Like there's still a lot of space and like fun things to do. And we got there and I mean, it was cool. It was still like very pretty, but we were looking for something slightly more remote. So that's what brought us to Bahia San Agustin, which is where we met Franz.
Well, it was just tough to, like, incognito camp. You're just on a busy street.
Yeah.
And it was so hot that it's like, okay, so we can either keep the doors closed and just crock pot ourselves in the van, or we can keep the doors open and
risk.
It's a busy street.
Yeah,
so
muggings.
Don't love that. So we got the fuck out of there. We're like, let's go find a campground near the beach where we can, ventilate, enjoy, and not lose a ton of sleep. It was just still so freaking hot. We would keep all the windows open, and it would get to like just under 80 degrees at night.
Mm-hmm.
But the bugs, the mosquitoes.
Oh, that's the thing, is that the bugs, like, in my mind, I was like, all right, just keep the doors open, let, like, maybe some of the ocean or mountain breeze come through, but you can't even do that because the bugs are so bad. We got annihilated.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting Zika for sure. Like, there was so many bites. Like, we looked like we had rashes on our body, and it was just all mosquito bites the first 2 nights.
Yeah.
So bad. So then you took the tent and set it up.
Yeah, it's a little internal mosquito netting. And that was okay. It was still just so freaking hot. It was just still so... I broke out in a heat rash. It was so hot. I was just like,
yeah,
I was
I've never
losing
seen
my
that on
mind.
you.
It was so hot. So we got the fuck out of there. We went back into the mountains where it's been so pleasant.
Yeah, and that's where, so we're now in this place, Huerve el Agua, who knows what town, just a little mountain town right outside of the city. But 3 hours prior to us arriving here is when the van broke down.
Oh yeah, thank God though. Thank God it broke in a way that I knew exactly what. So rare. I'm not a handy guy. I'm figuring it out, but we were just driving, and all of a sudden heard a, or like
yeah, like a cartoon noise.
Yeah, like
a noise I've never heard.
And we just kind of lost power, and I was like, oh no, and we kind of pulled over to the first spot. They were of no help. I popped the hood. I could see what was wrong. It's like one of the pipe fittings that go into the turbo, I think. So just the air was just completely leaking. So you just lost power, had no pressure, and was able to kind of wedge it back in. It was hot. All the pipes were fucking
It was 100 degrees. We were in the desert.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it was 100 degrees. It was legitimately 100 degrees, and so got it working. Drove another, I don't know, quarter mile. Heard it again. There was like a small spot selling mezcal and some like trinkets on the side of the road. Pulled right in as soon as we heard the noise, and we just asked for tools. We're like,
Instrumentos.
¿Tienes instrumentos? And they're like, okay, like which ones? And we were like, socket.
Yeah,
just
it's
like doing charades with the. Anyway, they had a bunch of wrenches. They had finally found the one I needed, which was an 8mm, and got the couple of brackets off. Was able to refit that pipe, so it was tight again. What I think happened was we went through the mountains to this other waterfall area. These like crystal blue kind of.
Oh, I forgot we did that.
Yeah, what was that place called?
Wow, I don't know. It was like Magic Waterfalls or something. Cascadas de Magico.
Okay, that sounds like Magic Cascades.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went there, and it was just so rocky. It was hard to get up. The roads are not made for sprinters. I don't even think they're made for cars. They're like made to walk, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think it was so bouncy that just knocked our shit loose under the hood.
Yeah, it was like huge potholes. I was so impressed that you made it up there. It was like very treacherous road, very steep, lot of holes. Yeah, I mean, I just can't put enough emphasis on the holes. So I think
we got there. The place was full of chickens, so we had to keep Pepper on a very tight leash.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the taste for him.
Yeah. But
that's
it was
a bummer.
great.
He has been. He sees chickens and he knows he has the upper hand on them, and that's never been the case with any animal ever.
Yeah.
So it might be a turning point with the boy. His mentality.
He's a man now.
I don't like him.
His first.
I don't like his evolution.
Yeah.
I like that he was very, very friendly and docile.
Yeah. Well, as long as it doesn't evolve, like Brooklyn doesn't really have chickens.
There's chickens right up the street.
Are they loose or are they
No,
behind a fence?
Yeah, they're cooped.
I think, yeah, I don't know. I would be nervous if, because we foster kittens. I don't
Yeah.
know. I was like, man, I would hate for him to just chomp on one of those.
Oh, that'd be tough to explain to the kitten cafe.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing though with fostering kittens. Maybe it's different up north, but in the south where there's such an overpopulation of cats and kittens. Like one time I lost a kitten. I threw a party in San Antonio. I had 3 kittens. The next day I had 2.
Uh-oh.
No idea where the cat went. I don't know if someone took it. I don't know if it just ran out. No accountability whatsoever for this kitten. I was afraid it died. I thought I checked every couch. I was like, oh my God, it got stuck somewhere.
Every corner. Did you check
But
under the dishwasher?
I checked everywhere. And there was no smell. So I was like, oh, it's a bummer. It just isn't here anymore. And I like let them know. And they're like, thanks for letting us know. And that was that. And I was like, oh, so you could just have kittens for free. Like they pretend there's this whole process. If you want to adopt them, you got to pay all this stuff. No, you could just, if you wanted to,
well,
have free kittens.
Yeah, let's not get that out there.
We won't.
Okay, don't tell anybody, 8 listeners of ours.
I don't plan on doing that, but it was just kind of an eye-opening, like, wow. I mean, there's too much to account for, and they're all on the kill list. So I think
I think that's really what it is it just saves them some incinerator time. You know, they're just like, oh, well, hey, okay, as long as we don't have to kill them.
Right. But,
pretty dark.
pretty dark, yeah.
Pretty dark. I bet the Kitten Cafe in Brooklyn will have different thoughts on
Yeah,
that.
they'll have a lot more to say about it. I would never try it with them. They're a great organization. They're like the only kitten cafe in Brooklyn. They do a great job. But all that to say, I just, I hope he's cool with the Itty Bitty Kitty Committee in the future.
There's a cat cafe around the corner from us in Brooklyn.
Really?
It's called the Cat Cafe. There's no cats. We get coffee there every morning.
Oh, yeah, I asked them about that.
Yeah, why?
I said, hey, do you guys have cats here? And they're like, no. And I was like, what's with the name? And they're like, oh, we just like the name.
Oh. Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah.
They're like, our coffee brand is called Kitty or something. So we're the Kitty Cafe. And I was like, huh, you don't think that's confusing to everybody all the time? You don't ever get people coming in here looking for cats? And they're like, oh, you know, it happens all the time.
Well, it gets people in the door, I guess.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, now you have to buy coffee.
The Free Drugs Cafe. I'm going to... Oh, no, we don't have free drugs. Why? Why do you think that? Why would you think that, you idiot? Does anybody else think that? All the time. Huh. Well, I guess I'm an asshole.
Yeah. I guess I'll have some coffee instead.
Yeah, I guess I'll settle for coffee. Yep. Oh, yeah. Damn, so that's the quick and dirty. Anything good happen, though? Anything fun? Anything interesting?
I mean, we've mostly been suffering.
A lot of suffering.
Which no one will respect once they see the photos of the beach we were at. But it was tough, you know. It was a lot of bugs, a lot of heat.
A lot of snorkeling.
Oh, we did some free diving.
Free diving, did some snorkeling, did some fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a pretty
You got
eventful.
an ear infection.
Oh my God, I got swimmer's ear,
Mm-hmm.
that's the bitchiest thing you can get. It says it got the worst name.
Yeah.
Swimmer's ear.
It tells you everything you need to know, though,
I know.
which I appreciate.
Anyway, yeah, I guess it does. The water gets locked in there, gets infected. So we had to find some. Hey, shout out pharmacies in wherever the fuck we are.
Mexico?
Yep. Shout out pharmacies in Mexico, because you can just go figure out what the medicine is and then just go, give me that.
And then they'll give it to you for like super cheap. You got your medicine for like $5.
$5. $5 prescription medicine for my ojos.
Yeah,
Right?
I actually don't know what ear is in Spanish. It's not ojos.
No, it's like ojes, ojos.
Yeah, oyer is to hear, so it's got something like that. But yeah, I'm really excited. We're actually gonna do an OB/GYN appointment in Oaxaca, and I'm just gonna pay out of pocket because it's, you know, why not? It's so cheap.
Yeah.
It's so sad. Like in the U.S., like I got I hope what is an accidental bill for like one of the first visits we ever had.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like $3,000. And I was like, what? They didn't do anything. They tested my pee. They asked us if we were good. And then they kicked us out the door.
Yeah,
and that's
gave you a bunch of
$3,000.
shots, made you faint.
They did not make me faint. They did not make me faint. I don't like needles. And when I get too much blood drawn at once, I feel lightheaded. I've never fainted.
I was hitting them with jokes. They weren't laughing. I brought Allie a bagel, and I was like, "It's a schmear for your smear." The guy was like looking at me. I pulled my bagel sandwich out, and I was like, "You know what you call a bagel with a really tight hole?" He's like, "What?" And I was like, "A kegel." He goes, "Nah." No. I was like, "Come on, man. You come up with some."
Yeah.
Why do I got to bring the bedside manner? I didn't like this. That I'm classified as custodian.
No, I don't think it's custodian. It's
chaperone.
Chaperone. Which is wild because I definitely put him on all of the husband paperwork, all of his name, everything. You have to fill it all out. First appointment.
Chaperone. I'm keeping us on schedule. I'm making sure that nobody gets lost.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a big day in the city.
Bring me my Kegel bagels.
Yeah, bringing Kegel bagel jokes. Schmear for your smear.
Maybe that's why they did that. Maybe they did that after you told the jokes. They're like, this can't be.
He's downgraded.
This can't be the husband.
Downgraded. Yeah. Make sure everybody behaves on the bus. A chaperone.
Yeah, that was strange. Anyway, we're going to leave those guys. They suck. We had our last appointment with them before we left for Mexico.
Yeah.
And now we got a new batch of doctors when we get back. So super pumped about that. But they were weird. Remember, they this is a huge no-no in the medical world. We had to get tested, the genetic tests where they try to figure out all right, I'm a carrier of this, he's a carrier of that. If we both carry something, the baby's got it. No bueno.
Mm-hmm.
But to do that, you have to do blood tests for both the woman and the man.
Yeah.
And I already had all my blood taken. And they were like, we need to do your husband. And then they tried to sit me in the chair again and take my blood a second time.
Yeah,
I was like, I already did this.
The woman came in, and I was like, where do you want me? And she kind of laughed. And I was like, should I sit over there? And she started prepping Allie. And I was like, hey, what are you doing? You're giving me the shot. She's just like, bah, bah, you joke too much. She was had this Jewish Russian accent. And I was like, I'm not joking right now. It's important that you give me or take my blood. That's what they told me anyway.
Yeah.
Unless you guys joke too much. I think you're taking my blood today. And then she had to go verify with the doctor and came back and was like, oh yeah, we're taking your blood. I was like, I know. I said that.
But that's so bad. That's bad.
Yeah.
That's one of the worst things you can do as a doctor. Is
no, definitely not one of the worst things you can do.
I guess, yeah, you can kill someone.
Yeah, absolutely execute something incorrectly. They almost did something small.
That's true.
Made you faint again.
I'm just being dramatic because I don't like needles. But
anyway, I filled those blood vials up. I bet I set a new record.
In terms of the speed in which you filled them up, or
I always
the amount?
try. Yeah,
You always try.
Yeah, I always.
How do you try?
I start flexing. Look how fucking fast I'm going.
Isn't that you don't want that? That's high blood pressure.
Oh, that's what I mean. I'm flowing more blood. It's higher pressure of blood flowing into the. I
know, but I don't think you want to be flowing with blood.
Fuck you. Yes, I do.
I think it's better if you have low blood pressure. That's what I always try to aim for. Is how dead can I look on the thing where they take your blood pressure.
Well, that's a different game. That's a different game. If you're getting your blood pressure taken, yeah, I try and Hannibal Lecter it and just bring my pulse all the way down to 0. Yeah, but if I'm filling up vials, flexing everything from my toes to my forehead.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm trying to break the glass vial.
Was my blood? I didn't look at it. Was my blood fast?
No, yours was too slow.
Just drip.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I almost fainted. Maybe that's why I don't know. I got low iron. I was never allowed to give blood in high school, which was always a bummer because you got the sticker that I gave blood and the cookie, and it was like a badge of honor as like a 15-year-old. And they would look at you and be like, "Why didn't you give blood? Do you have AIDS or something?"
When I was in high school, my buddy Pete and I was on student council, so I kind of had the whole day off during the blood drive to work the blood drive.
Okay.
And I gave blood kind of midday, and my buddy Pete brought a 6-pack of beer, and he gave blood at the same time. And then because we were a liter light
Okay.
of blood, we went out to his car to see if we could get drunk faster. On 3 beers, we just split a 6-pack and got kind of hammered in his. In what was he driving? A Honda Civic.
Wow.
And then, I went back in. I put on the blood. There was like a blood mascot costume, and went around the hallways tackling like freshmen.
What? Oh, so nothing bad happened? You did get drunk very quickly?
Yeah, got drunk, had a pretty big blast, and then terrorized the school as a bloodborne pathogen in the hallway. A bloodborne mascot.
Payment.
Yeah, it was a real payment that day.
That's fun. That's like not quite the same, but like the vodka tampons in college. Did you ever?
No.
You obviously never did. I mean, some guys did do it. They put it in the other hole.
I've heard of that.
Yeah,
I've
never done it.
I would thank you. Oh my god, I was about to be horrified.
No, I've never. I mean, you just buy Smirnoff like a normal human and chug it as fast as you can. You don't have to go the blood route.
I think this is an urban legend. The vodka tampons.
I've had friends that say they've done it. I've been at parties where I've seen them soak it and then go into the bathroom. Whether or not they actually put it in, I don't know. But it is supposed to get you drunk super, super fast.
I mean, it can't be easy to put in a sopping wet tampon.
No, I mean, you just have to shove it. You just have to, do most of the legwork yourself.
Do all the, I don't see that actually happening.
I don't know. Guys, Google it.
Yeah, somebody, hey,
Someone
listeners,
else Google something crazy because my algorithm is no bueno right now.
Why?
Because I've Googled like bug bites and mostly just bug bites.
Okay, well that's all right for your algorithm.
I don't like that.
What's it gonna send you ads for bugs?
It's gonna send me photos of. Did you get bit by a scorpion? And then a photo of someone's face swollen from a scorpion.
Oh my god, I saw a tarantula.
Oh yeah, I'm so jealous.
Why?
I want to see one so bad.
You could see it. I wish I hadn't. Big hairy fucker.
Yeah,
came crawling out of a tarp that I was folding. And I just put the fucking tarp down and walked away.
Did it come at you?
No. It walked away. Walked towards Yodi.
Okay.
The
other dog.
The other dog that was there. He was unbothered. He just kind of watched it walk by. Then it walked across the shaded area towards the refrigerator. And then I lost track of it.
And that was that. Wow. It was kind of scary. There are scorpions where we were.
Scorps. Didn't see one of those, though.
I was so scared. I mean, because it's dark. They love dark places. They love dark, wet places. And that's like everything. That's like swimsuits, towels, shoes that are on the ground.
Yeah, at a hot, dry beach, the dark, wet things are going to be the stuff you have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would like touch everything with a long stick before I picked it up. I was scared. I was like, the guy got stung by a scorpion, and I was like, what is that like? And he's like, well, first your lips go numb, but that's normal. Don't be alarmed when that happens. Yeah, don't be alarmed.
It sounds like it feels like your tongue and lips are vibrating 1,000 times a second, is what he said.
Yeah. What does that even mean?
And then he was like, when I was walking, I had to like lock my knee every step I took before I took the next step. And I was like, okay. And then you go to the hospital, and he was like, well, only if it lasts for more than a day. I was like, well, you got to suffer through that for a day?
Yeah, and you want to wait that long? If you wait a day and you go to the doctor's going to be like, why didn't you come in a day ago?
Well, he said if you go to the doctor's just going to say, Well, we'll just monitor you, but there's nothing we can do.
Ugh. I hate that response. That was what they told me in Hawaii. I stepped on a sea urchin while I was surfing. And it was like, do you hear dogs?
I hear dogs, but we're good. If I see dogs, I'll get pep.
But yeah, I stepped on a sea urchin. It's like exactly what you like lift your foot up out of the water onto the board, and it's just these black spears coming out of your foot. But they're so fragile. So I just went like this. I just kind of like cleared them, and then they were all in my foot. And it was like I used to surf at sunset, so the sun was setting. I hobbled back with my surfboard to the hotel. I made myself a salt bath, and I was Googling like crazy. I was like, should I be concerned? I have like 20 like stingers in me. And they're like, go to the hospital immediately. And I was like, well, I can't do that. So I went the next day, and the doctors all like gaslit me. They were like, oh, well, it happens to all of us. We all stepped on sea urchins. Look, here's a photo of me as a kid. Sea urchins in my hand. I was like, thank you for your story. But like, how does that help me?
Now, what would you have done if you were a doctor then?
Yeah, what like? So you're saying I can't do anything? And they're like, no, it's already. They'll be in you for like 4 months, and then your body will slowly break them down.
Nice.
It's like that sucks because it still hurts to walk on. Can't do anything. I was in uniform. Ugh. Anyway, I just hate that response though. Well, there's nothing we can do for you. At least give me like a painkiller.
Yeah, lie to me,
Something.
dude. Yeah, fucking give me a placebo.
Yeah, please.
This doctor's visit's costing me $20,000.
I know. To pay $3,000 a visit for you to tell me to fuck off. I hate that.
Yeah. American healthcare.
It's a bummer.
It is. But what are you going to do? What's happening in the news? Anything good?
You know way better than I do. I've been trying to disconnect.
I honestly don't. I'm completely disconnected. My phone won't. It's telling me I don't have a SIM card now, so.
I think we're still on track for war in Israel. I think that's the latest.
Okay, good. World War III still bumping.
Yeah. I think Trump is probably still somewhere in the mix politically.
Oh, I did see RFK is like surging in the polls.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Hey, independence everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, who knows if he'll be good, but he'll be different.
Did something happen that led to that?
Well, probably Biden committing every last dollar that we have to Israel, and Trump going further and further down the indictment hole. It's like we could not have two worse candidates.
Yeah.
It's tough to call it a democracy when the two choices you have, you'd rather fucking...
And it's been that way every
Nobody's
election.
going to like this. Nobody's going to get on board with this, but we should bring back assassinations.
Oh, boy. You know, I was wondering if you were going to bring it up on the pod. But you know what? Let's go deep on this. Let's hear more about why.
Well, I don't condone violence, but if there is going to be violence... I call me crazy. I think it should be for the people who are calling for violence.
Right, instead of 20 random people at a bowling alley.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's I mean, that's a mass shooting, but that kind of speaks to it. If there's all this crazy in the world, all this anger, it's like crazy to me that their anger hasn't led them to anybody in power. That like they just turn their anger to the civilian populace. Mm-hmm. That makes no sense to me. If anger was real and the reason they're doing this is because they're having these psychotic breaks based off of their like inability to integrate, it's like, how is the CEO of United Airlines still alive? If that's the case with people and they're that fragile, then like all of these, like the most, I don't understand how these people in power who keep fucking over everybody aren't the targets of their ire.
Right. Well, it's because they know that they can get away with it. They have like the most secure safety bubble where they know that nothing is ever going to happen to them no matter what they do.
Maybe. I don't know. Remember Shinzo Abe?
No.
He was the prime minister of Japan.
Oh. Yes, vaguely.
And he got like 2 years ago by some dude with a blunderbuss. He made like a like a homemade electrical tape, battery operated
Oh my God.
pipe blunderbuss, and just murked him. And he did
In
it because
public, right? That guy?
Yeah. And the guy got killed, I think. Actually, I'm not 100% on that, but he got captured, or he's not at large. He's either dead or they got him. And the reason he did it was because Shinzo Abe was like extremely. His policies benefited this religious organization called the Moonies. Now, the Moonies had like defrauded a bunch of people. I mean, think about it like tax exemption for malignant religious parties that have abused people across the U.S. And you pick a religion, and they fit the mold, whether that's Scientology, Catholicism, Muslims, like anybody with anyway. So somebody whose family had been completely fucked over by the Moonies. The Moonies, by the way, have a presence in the United States. They own Bridgeport University of Bridgeport.
That's so random.
It is. This dude murked Shinzo Abe, who was not the leader of the Moonies, but was one of the main reasons why the Moonies were able to flourish.
Okay.
And now they have stopped that. They have the Moonies are not doing the same dumb bullshit that they were.
Wow, so it actually changed their behavior.
So this is the most unpopular opinion, but I think it is a true opinion when you look at it. When you look at they killed JFK, they killed RFK, they killed MLK, they killed Fred Hampton, they killed Malcolm X, they killed John Lennon, and that killed any socialist movement in the United States. That killed any opposition to the war on drugs in the United States. That killed any opposition to protests against wars in general in the military-industrial complex. Killed it. Absolutely killed. So, I would say that is a negative example of assassinations working.
Sure.
But it's odd.
But there's a direct cause and effect linked to it,
right.
It sounds like.
Remember the guys who assassinated Franz Ferdinand? They wanted to start World War I.
Yeah.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk crazy here, but I can't be the only person in the world who sees that would be a better use of the extreme violence that you see with guns in America.
Yeah.
Right? I don't even own guns. I'm not a gun guy. I'm not a violence guy. But because it seems like there's no option for fewer guns or sanity checks on guns or people with guns. So or the anger that those people with guns are feeling, apparently.
Right.
I just don't understand why they're pointing their gun at people who don't matter.
Right. I mean, this is not a similar example, I would say, but there is some sort of benefit, I think, to self-policing or vigilante. I'm thinking of a conversation we had at that campground, the one where Pepper killed all the chickens, where they were talking about people who have been killed, people that they don't know who have been killed because they did really bad things.
Yeah, they raped a girl or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they stole something significant from their neighbor, which is a big no-no.
Right.
And they don't have police, so instead they just put a guy on his knees, made him clasp his hands in prayer, and then shot him through the hands.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So there's this interesting self-policing here. I mean, if you're not doing really bad stuff, you do feel safe. And you do, so I don't know. People in the U.S. are allowed to get away with really bad stuff. And it's because there's no system in place to hold them accountable for that.
Yikes. I don't know about that.
I'm just thinking, I'm thinking of every CEO that's done a bad thing.
Oh, that bullshit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, the laws are made for that, not that to be good business, not hand over fist thievery.
Right. Which is what it is.
Yes.
So I don't know. I'm just saying, not using a similar example, but just trying to say I do understand where you're coming from there.
Yeah. If 70% of the country is against the wars that we're obviously on our way into, and most of the country would say, give us any other candidates besides the bullshit you're giving us, I don't know how you can call it a democracy. I don't know how you can call it anything other than just like a revolving dictatorship that like the figurehead of which doesn't matter, and whoever is running it is the same people who murked JFK.
Yeah.
You got to be a pretty stupid person to think that JFK was killed by just a lone gunman at this point, and for that the government to have had no role in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think any of our presidents believe that.
Yeah.
So they're all running to be just the spokesperson for whatever power they understand is above them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's tough because on the complete other side of that, violence in general is shitty, and you don't want to condone
absolutely.
it.
But yeah, violence in general is shitty. But I'll take one dead fucking billionaire over what is going to be 1 million dead Gazans. You know, like it's going to be millions of people dead around the globe.
It is, yeah.
Because these fucking assholes can't figure their shit out. Because whatever is driving their engine, and it might be greed, it just plain might be that. We might have just been building a world that serves only that for the last 70 years almost. Which is insane. I think if you look at the business interests of the Nazis and how capitalism has grown, you would look and you would assume that the Nazis have won.
Yeah, wow. I don't know. I mean, it does make me, it bums me out. There are it's moments like that where I am bummed to be an American.
I know. I'm just bummed to be on, I'm bummed that this is just the way it is.
Yeah. This is, it's the norm. Like, how do you change a culture like this?
Well, the culture's so toxic, they don't even realize that it's toxic.
Right, exactly. It almost feels like it's too far gone. Yeah. And so how do you change that?
They like their microwave ovens and their air conditioner, and they don't care how the fuck it's subsidized.
Yeah.
As long as they stay blind to it, they can stay in their own mind morally above it.
Yeah.
And they're not. They're morally below.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, not to end on a bummer note, but I mean, it is on our mind, and when we think of news of the day, it's hard not to just have your mind go there. Like, how do we fix this? Like, how do we need to bring back extreme
Here's the thing, the powers that be think the way to fix this is way, way more war.
Yeah. Which is gonna
and we got no say in that. We literally have no other options but to send our poor and first the poorest and dumbest to the slaughter. And finally, when we've run out of them, and it comes for people in Iowa with, we'll say, promising futures, then people will go, this is a travesty.
I know. Yeah. But it sucks that we have to go through the whole phase of that first round of people dying to get there. A person's a person. We should just condemn it wholesale.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. But this isn't a political podcast. It's not. Yeah. And for the record, I am not calling on anybody to do anything. I'm just saying if the logic that I'm following of people who do things, I don't get why they do things, because it doesn't make sense for the reasons that they say they're doing it.
Right. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's Work Our Way.
Oh, is that the whole pod today?
I feel like we've definitely burned through. I think we're over an hour. We're at 19:22, whatever that means. I think we usually stop at 16 or 17.
Hey, bonus time.
Hey. Anyway, we miss everybody.
Yeah.
We're halfway through our trip.
Maybe more. We're a little more than halfway.
Oh, yeah. Veterans Day was yesterday.
Oh, happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Thought you'd never thank me. Thank you for thanking me. But yeah, no, we're just gonna keep hitting the road, stay where it's cool. That's like the great thing about Oaxaca is that, I mean, this is just, you can't get better than these temperatures. We were able to sleep last night.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So we're gonna stay here. I think we're done with the beach, so we're gonna hit the mountains.
Yeah,
do some
done with the beach for
hiking.
now. I might swing through Tampico again on my way out of town.
Oh yeah.
Just because, I mean, it's a UFO hotspot.
I mean, see what you can see. I mean, we were distracted because the van broke down.
It was cloudy and rainy.
It was.
It was
But
stormy.
they're out
even.
there.
Yeah.
That alien base. Yeah, as a quick update, Pat's going to be making the drive back alone. So anybody between Oaxaca, Mexico, and New York City who wants to hang,
Yo, Beads. Yo, Beads. See you in
we
Houston.
know you're listening. Hit him up. Give him a place to stay. He'll be tired.
Okay, you don't need to give me a place to stay. let's just hang out, grab a burrito. All right.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.